Hey, what's happening, friends? Welcome to Let's Connect show on KONNECTiN. Today we're going to be discussing Sony A7 III camera system, and our focus for today is going to be to talk about two limitations that we found with this camera system and how we can circumvent those limitations. By the way, if you are new to our channel, please let us know where you're from and use the comment box to drop in a comment. If you have any questions, shoot them our way. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Vijay Bose, and let's get started. All right. So, as you all know, Sony A7 III camera system has been introduced in the market, back in 2018. And Sony packed so much of professional features with this camera system, and it is one of the best camera system for hybrid shooters. If you are into photography and videography, this camera can give the best of both worlds. And I don't think that any camera, any full frame mirrorless camera is available in the market at the price point that this camera is available. And I got this for $1,800, and I got a bundle package with a bunch of accessories. This body alone now costs about $1,698. I don't think you can beat that price. Sony introduced a lot more cameras since they introduced this one, but I would say without a doubt, this camera is still one of the best cameras, one of the best mirrorless cameras, in the market today, and this is going to have its own space even in 2021 as well. All right, but again, this camera system is just a tool. There is no perfect camera system out there, and it's up to the shooter or the photographer or the videographer or the cinematographer to make use of that tool effectively to their advantage. Likewise, the Sony A7 III is also not a perfect camera, but it has got lots of features which you can use to get a stunning looking imagery, and one of the biggest limitations that we found with this camera system is that actually if you connect this camera system with an external monitor and hit record on camera, you lose the video feed on this rare monitor, on the electronic viewfinder, which is not the desired outcome that that we all want. And again, sometimes we wanted to change the settings, and while recording, actually obviously you can't do that, but and you wanted to actually, you still want that video on this viewfinder, because in a lot of the status information that is displayed on here, and you always turn the HDMI info off when you actually send the video feed to the external monitor. So you're not going to see any status information on this external monitor. You only see it here. But the moment you turn the monitor off, you're not going to see any of those information. Again, that is not a good thing. So how do you circumvent this issue? And I accidentally found a solution, and I'm sure that most of the folks out there, they found their own ways of finding a solution to the problem that we are talking about today. I happen to have an ATOMOS Shogun Flame monitor in my studio, and I got this monitor about 3 years ago to pair it with this camera. This is actually, it's a Sony, it's a Panasonic GX85. Again, it's a rangefinder style camera. It is not a GH5, it is not a GH4, and I would say this is it's a brother of a GH5. It's a tiny one, it's a small form factor, but it packs a punch. It has got a 5-axis image stabilization, the best, and I use this camera to shoot my first short film, and I paired it with ATOMOS Shogun Flame. That's when I got this monitor come recorder. The reason I got this one is because this camera, this Panasonic GX85, is outputting uncompressed video feed through HDMI. So if I connect an external monitor, actually I could record my video in a 10-bit the ProRes HQ format, and I get a more edit friendly and a higher codec, and that's going to smooth out my post-processing workflow. And to my surprise, actually I got one of the best footages from this camera, and that's the reason I happen to have this monitor in my studio. And these days I use this monitor to record my live streams. I usually do live streams. I rarely do a recorded video and upload to my channel, but today I decided to record this video and upload it to our channel. Variation is always a good, right? So let's get started. So I'm turning on this camera, Sony A7 III, and I'm also turning on my ATOMOS Shogun Flame. And if you takes a little extra time to actually turn on the camera, to turn on the monitor. But if you look around, and a lot of the folks actually pair A7 III camera with the ATOMOS Ninja V. Ninja V is actually a 5-inch, very compact monitor, lightweight monitor, and that probably the best companion to pair it with this camera system, because this camera is, again, it's a very compact camera, and you needed a little more small form factor. The 7-inch is okay, it can get the job done, but it's a little bit heavy and it's got some weight to it, and I would not recommend actually mounting this on top of the cold shoe mount, because for any professional work, professional work, I always mount it on a cage. Otherwise it can mess up this cold shoe. So the problem that is, now this camera is connected to this monitor, and I'm going to hit a record here and see what happens. See, I lose, this monitor goes blank, and the only information that I see is obviously, okay, my shutter speed, my aperture, my ISO, and obviously my exposure compensation. Other than that, I don't see anything at all. It's completely blanked. And obviously my my histogram is also available here. That's good. Actually, my audio monitor is here, and my time code is also here, and then I also know that it is actually recording, and it is recording internally on my SD card. But this is not what we want. We also want to see the footage, through this monitor along with this one. And usually, you probably don't. It's okay that but again, and I happen to have, I happen to see this video footage on both camera as well as on the external monitor, because I come from Canon system, Canon 5D Mark III, and Canon 5D Mark III has a setting that actually you can actually mirror the actual display between the camera as well as the external monitor, so that you will be able to see both. I don't know why Sony does not have that feature, and Sony packed so much of other professional features, but I don't know why they couldn't do this one, and that's kind of it's a bummer to us. So let me stop the recording. So how do you circumvent that problem? And actually, there is a record option here, right? Because this is an external recorder, and by the way, this can record in H.2.2 because that is my default setting. ProRes HQ format, ProRes LT format, and there is a LT proxy format. I think there are 3 different flavors that you can actually record, and plus it does this recorder also packs with so much of professional features, and it's got histogram, it's got a waveform, it's got HDR settings, so you can actually use this monitor to actually nail the exposure correctly. If you are actually shooting in a high dynamic range videos, this monitor is fantastic, and it's going to help you record that. Plus it can it has got a S-Log2 and S-Log3. You can actually nail the exposure for that picture profiles, and it supports Sony, Canon, and Panasonic, and I don't know, and I think even Arri, Red. There are there are several camera packages that this recorder supports, and it's a very good companion. So I'm going to hit record here and see what happens. See, the recording is here, but actually that recording is not happening here. So if I do the same thing with this Panasonic GX85, it can actually trigger a time code through HDMI. It can also record internally on my camera. That way I have a bit compressed backup copy of my footage. But unfortunately, in this combination, if I hit record here, nothing is happening on camera. Camera is not recording at all, you know. So, but again, when you do this, this is one limitation that you can circumvent. Second limitation that you're circumventing with this is let me explain that. Let me turn off this recording. By the way, there is a eye sensor here. If I actually cover that, it turns off this viewfinder completely. I turned on. I usually turn off that setting when I do video, but I turned on the setting for photography, for taking photographs. But anyway, so the second limitation is that actually, I don't know about you, but actually I happen to flip through that the Sony manual, this camera system's manual, and on the 89th page, it talks about continuous recording time limit. This camera system has a time limit. That means if you are using this to record a video continuously for more than 30 minutes, it stops recording at 29th minute, which is not a desired outcome that you want. The reason is that it says actually this camera can overheat, at certain temperatures. That means if the camera's temperature is, reaches, if it is continuously recording, obviously, the camera feels warm. And if the temperature goes beyond 40 degree or maybe 20 degree, 30 degree or 40 degrees centigrade, this camera shuts off at 29th minute, which is again, it's a bummer. If you are using this camera system to record, for example, a vlogging session or an interview session, usually those sessions may last more than 30 minutes. And if it does, this camera shuts off and you have to go back and turn on the recording again. Sometimes if the camera is warm, you probably have to, cool it, let it cool down and then start the camera and record it again. And that is not a desired outcome that you want. And here, if you use this external monitor cam recorder, I don't think that will happen. This camera feels warm, but I think, if you can set the temperature to set it to high, before it can shuts off, then use this external recorder cam monitor to record your video. And it basically, it helps you in two ways. First thing is, obviously, you're getting Sony's actually it's still sending the 8-bit video out through HDMI into this 10-bit container, 10-bit ProRes container, but you get slight advantage in the color space here. That's slight advantage that if you compare with the 8-bit footage versus the 10-bit ProRes footage, it is very difficult to see the difference between the two. And but if you look at very, very closely, you see that the 10-bit has got a slight advantage in the chroma space, in the color space. That's the only advantage that you get with this setup. Second, that's not the only advantage. Second advantage is basically you get an edit-friendly ProRes footage, which is again you can actually easily export it to, you can actually import it to your computer and start editing right away. And this XAVCS format, and I have hard time actually is importing into computer because the Sony says you have to have I think the Play movie app or something. That app was a crap, and I couldn't get it work properly on my Mac at all. And again, that is actually going away. And then iMovie, I use iMovie to actually export all my video footage from this camera system. And from iMovie, again, I moved those video files into my edit folder from where I pulled everything into DaVinci, and that's how I edited it. But it's a two-step process. But if it is a ProRes, you connect your adapter to your computer, and actually you import all the video footage into the right folder and actually pull them into DaVinci and start editing it right away. And that's easy. And that is a second advantage that you get when you use this external recorder cum monitor. And again, that's an additional investment that you have to make if you want to go that route. But again, like I said earlier, I've seen people using Ninja V. Ninja V is more a 5-inch compact monitor with the same features. You can still record it on SSD, and if you want to invest in in an external recorder cum monitor, I would highly encourage you get a Ninja V monitor cum recorder, and the link is in the description below. You check that out. I happen to have this one here, so I used it and with this one, and it can get the job done, no problem at all. And that is exactly what I wanted to cover in this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to our channel and hit that like button, because it is absolutely important that you follow our channel, because when you like our video, when you subscribe to our channel, we know that you are interested in this type of content. So we'll be able to come up with the content of this nature. And if you have any questions, please use the comment box to send them our way. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. All right, bye.